If this interview ever gets to Mark Andrews, I'm on your side, my brother.
Welcome to the Shadow League Locker Room. I'm your host, Obi Mahaley, former two-time All-Pro fullback for the Ravens and Falcons. And I have today one of my boys, my former teammates, one of the greatest tight ends to ever do it, period, but especially in a Falcons uniform, Agle Crumpler. Agle, thanks for coming on, my brother.
What up, Demon Deacon?
Yep. No, you were gone. No, you were a senior when I was a freshman. When did you play at UNC? Because did we overlap? I feel like you're a bit above me.
96 to 2000. 2000 was my last season.
Okay, so yeah, we overlapped by a year, but I was probably redshirted. So I got there 99, 2000, 99, I think a redshirted, 2000, my first year. And I remember playing UNC, and Julius Peppers ragdolled me every which way. And I was just like, it's unfair because your team was stacked that year. I think it was 2000 maybe. And he threw me around like nobody's business. But no, I remember hearing about you in UNC when I was a little baby Wake Forest, and you were a big deal then. You're a big deal now. I'm going to love talking about your career, your college, NFL career, some trending topics, Lamar Jackson. We got some Power 5 conferences that are doing things, the college championship, hear your idea. Stephen A. Smith's at it again. But before we go into all of that, how are you doing during the snow day, man? I know in Atlanta. Are you in Atlanta for all this light snow day?
I'm in Gwinnett County. My kids have a digital day, so they're out of school. They were out of school yesterday. They woke up with no. See, this is the thing in Atlanta. If you wake up with snow, it's fun.
Yeah.
But if it starts snowing at 3:00 in the afternoon like yesterday, city shuts down. Everybody shut down. Cars stuck on the highway. Cars stuck on the road. I've been in the house eating Doritos. I'm good. Let me get a sponsorship because I've been snacking good.
No, same here. I'm Gwinnett County. My kids, my daughter was praying for a snow day. She just didn't want to take some of these tests. So she was like, Daddy, please snow. I was like, I can't affect the weather. I'm going to pray with you, but I can't affect the weather. So when it started snowing yesterday, or when they got hurt, when they heard that it was no school, she was doing a happy dance. We went to the park. We got our dog. We took all types of pictures because the first snow day, we took it for granted. We thought it'd be snowing all day. And it snowed like 6, 7 in the morning, then turned to slush. So this time we were ready. We had our parkas and our hats, and we got like that good snow. And we had a good time, man. But getting back to football, you are somebody, and Michael Turner the same thing. Me and Mike do a podcast, Believe in Falcons. It's fun. I always tell Mike to, tell these people who you are. Let them know who you are. You're like, nah, I'm okay. I'm all right. He's humble. You also very humble. But what you did in your NFL career wasn't easy. And the ability for you to keep on rising at every level and be one of the best also isn't very easy. Tell some of our listeners, our viewers, like, how did Agle Crumpler become Agle Crumpler? From high school to college to pro, just like, a quick synopsis of how you became the legend that you are now.
Obi, I grew up in a football family. My father was the all-time leading rusher at East Carolina University.
Really?
Had a chance to play professionally. Was in the Buffalo organization when O.J. Simpson was there. So he had a chance to get his feet wet. My older brother played 6 years in the National Football League. You see, I got
Carl Lester, right?
To Carl Lester, yeah. You see,
I ran into him at a conference. I'm like, you look like somebody I know. He's like, I'm Alge's brother. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay.
The Crumpler facial features are
strong.
We all look alike.
Yeah.
But he played 6 years in the National Football League, 5 in Seattle, and finished up with Denny Green and the Minnesota Vikings. So interesting, quick nugget. I got this Team Moss shirt on. He played with Randy Moss in Minnesota, and my last year in New England, I had a chance to play with Randy Moss. So we're brothers. Nice. Had a chance to see greatness all at the same time.
Hey, man, good stuff to that, man.
And, went to college, University of North Carolina. Mac Brown was there, Hall of Fame coach. Glad he's there. Bill Belichick now, I was a captain with the Patriots. He's now the current head coach at the University of North Carolina. So
has he called you up to coach? Because I feel like that phone call is like one away to have Agle Crumpler coach tight ends or guest coach. Have you and Bill talked at all? Has the school called you at all?
I have talked to the school. I haven't talked to Bill.
Okay.
But 80-hour work weeks is not what I'm looking forward to. But I support the organization in any way.
Not at all. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons they're putting me on their Hall of Fame next month. Super excited, and they've talked about. Thank you, man. It took him 20 years, but it's all right. Better late than never. I'm a fullback. I get lost in the shuffle. So somebody actually said, why isn't, this guy who was a 10-year, two-time all pro. Anyways, but they asked me to coach, and I said, respectfully, no, absolutely not, because of those 80-hour work weeks and being a guy running, getting coffee, or even being the guy trying to, get the papers. Like, I don't want to start from the bottom again and work my way up. And frankly, I wouldn't feel comfortable getting a Michael Vick or Deion Sanders like thrust into head coach or even OC or even running backs coach. Like, I'm not ready for that. I enjoy my life. I enjoy my peace. I'm here in my basement, my man cave, and it's fun to be able to do the work I do in the insurance space out of home, spend time with my family, and move on. But that coaching, they're going to need all that time.
So, they're in great hands. That's
Yes.
all I can say. They're in great hands. So I'm excited that Bill is leading the charge in Chapel Hill.
Yeah. So you got drafted to was Falcons was your first team you drafted here?
First team. I was here in the 01 draft, same as Michael Vick. He was the first pick in the draft. I was the second round draft pick. So we were the 1-2 punch coming in. I got cursed out every day in practice because me and Mike were just killing it on scout team. I'm talking about killing us. I didn't care what the card said. I was like, Mike, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball. Because I didn't catch a lot of balls in college, and I felt like, I had the skill set to blossom when I got to the National Football League. So I took practice took practice seriously, man. I competed hard in practice, and I wanted to be a dog out there and just make sure that I was catching the ball, just tearing people up every single day in practice, and I got to the point where they finally put me on the field after a couple of years, and my career blossomed.
Now, about Mike Vick, man, I had a chance to play with him for 2 months, dude. It was so unfortunate. I came during the dog stuff, and I was super excited. In fact, part of the reason I chose to come to the Falcons, I had offers from the Giants, 2007, the Bucks, and the Falcons. But, Eli's cool, but he's not Michael Vick. Michael Vick was electric. Michael Vick was a show. He was out there with you doing things. I played against y'all with the Ravens and actually had y'all with a gold star of one of the teams that I would, look into that I wanted to be at. Especially my agent was from here, and my boy Takeo Spikes is from Atlanta. And every time I came to Atlanta, I had a good time. I'm like, this is a great city to play in and to work in. So when I signed up, got a chance to, you were there. I was in practice with Mike, and Mike with that left-handed rocket of a ball, I was dropping passes early on. I had 5-yard routes. He was throwing like I was 20 yards down the field. And so I was, hey, Mike, can we practice catching the ball? Awesome dude, amazing talent. I played with him for 2 months. You played with him for years. Yeah. Tell me about, that first year, watching Mike grow, because obviously he didn't come in rookie year being that superstar. Maybe he did, but he turned into somebody who was larger than life, man. Talk about being side by side and watching, Mike become Mike.
Well, you got to understand, he was one of the most electric players in college football history. And congratulations to Mike, just got elected to the college football Hall of Fame. So well deserved. So he came into Atlanta as a rock star. Even when I tried to hang out in Atlanta, I used to wait for Mike to come so I could get in, because they didn't know who Algie Crumpler was. So, he was a rock star. The city was excited, Arthur Blank hadn't bought the team at the time, but people were just making sure they wanted to be a part of that Michael Vick experience. And, it was fun. We were roommates on the road. We, back in the day, we had the Motorola two-way pages. That thing used to blow up all night long. And I was the one waking up. He was sleeping right through it. I'm just like, man.
Come on, Mike. Tell it tomorrow. Not tonight.
Off, man. Turn that thing off. But, because Mike got a great heart, man. And to be around Mike. Everybody wanted to be around the Falcons when Mike was playing. And, they were just blowing his phone up, blowing his phone up. And then we get in practice and, he was locked in. So I was tired, but he was locked in. So that's that Michael Vick experience started. And then, as we got going, man, it was fun, man. The city was electric. Made it to the NFC Championship game. That third year was kind of tough because he broke his ankle, came back, later in the season, and had the little Superman run, diving into the end zone, just kind of giving a glimpse of what it can be. So it was a fun experience being with Mike and just having a chance to be his teammate and follow his career after the prison sentence, and how he's turned his life around. So I'm excited for that. And excited for Norfolk football too. Norfolk State.
Yeah, speaking about that, man, and Mike, like, how do you think he's going to approach this coaching gig? Deion's kind of blazed the trail, but Prime is it's very hard to do what he did because he has that persona, he has that ego, he has that gravitational pull. But it's arguably you can arguably say that Mike Vick has an also same immense star power that can potentially have the same formula that can create success. And how do you think Mike's going to handle this or go at this Norfolk coaching job?
Well, if you ever met anybody from Virginia, especially that Tidewater, that 2 up, 2 down, as they say, 757 area code,
Yeah.
um, they're always going to tell you a story about somebody great from that area, whether it's Allen Iverson or Chuck, whatever they call him, and then Ronald Curry, my quarterback in
Ronald Curry
in college, who
that
played in
guy.
Hampton, and then Michael Vick. Everybody always has a story. So he's going to the perfect place. Prime went to Jackson State. He had to just bring everybody to him at
Yeah,
Jackson State. Mike's going home.
that's a great point.
He loves that area. That community is going to surround themselves around Mike and try to build up Norfolk State to make sure that he has the things that he needs to run that organization. And I've watched his interviews. I've had a chance to talk to him. Well, congratulate him via text message and communicate with him. And he's hiring a great staff. He's putting
Yeah, he
people
is.
around him, and that's what it takes to be a great coach, man. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're not going to be successful. You got to hire smart coaches, and you got to bring in really good players and just try to be positive with them and build those guys up. And that's kind of how Mike's always been.
Yeah, what I love about Mike is, you talked about his story, he's in jail for a little bit. The fact that he came back from that, like, as somebody that, I consider him as a friend, I don't know him as well as you. I see him around at games, whatever, we connect. And it's just so amazing to realize that his story could have ended. And a lot of people's stories end when they have things that not even as traumatic or dramatic as what happened to Mike. Mike took that on the chin and says, you know what? And I've heard him in interviews before talk about he's almost happy that this happened because it reset his mental and made him think a different way and had him be like, you know what? All right, I was doing too much. I wasn't, acting the way I should have. I needed to change some things, and I probably wouldn't have if I wasn't arrested in that way. And then to have a story to tell these young kids, these kids who are going to be in a similar position as him one day, like how to deal with just adversity. That's amazing. But you actually saw Mike. You went to visit him in jail. Like, talk about how or what you can share about him and that experience, what it meant to him. Because I think it said a lot to people who were saying, "I can't get through this. I can't get through that." This brother came back and got $100 million contract with the Eagles, and then ended up keep on building on that success. That's unheard of. He could
Yeah,
write a book or 10.
yeah, it's a great redemption story, to be honest, because Mike was in a dark place. He put himself in a dark place, so
Yeah,
he accepted responsibility for that. But you go back to when Mike was indicted. We had that team meeting, and they're talking to us and saying,
I was
"Hey,
there.
they're listening to your calls. Be careful what you're saying." And as a human, you're like, "Wait, man, I need to go, check in and tap in with my guy because
Yeah,
he's." I need to find out how he's doing. And then they try to scare you and they're not talking to him. So, it took some time before I had a chance to talk to Mike. And then I remember reaching out to Kevin Winston, our player development director, who
Kevin.
I think, or player engagement director now that the title is called. And,
Mm-hmm.
I want to, also, I said, I want to visit Mike, and they said, he's at the time he was like, "Hey, we'll try to get you on the list because, his family was visiting. You can only have a certain amount of visitors." He was in one prison camp, moved to another one. And then I finally got the call from Kevin and said, "Hey, got you on the list." I immediately booked a flight, flew to Kansas City. It was at Leavenworth. Get the rental car. I'm taking off. I'm pulling up, and I pull up
Wow.
to Leavenworth Federal Prison. And it's like this enormous and massive, just scariest looking place. I'm walking up the steps. I'm going in. I was like, "Hey, I'm on a visit Mike Vick." And they're like, "Prison number." I'm like, "What?" And so I look at my emails. I give them the information, and I'm just nervous. My heart beating. I'm like, "This place is crazy." And they're like,
Yeah.
"You're in the wrong place. You need to go to the prison camp." He's like, "Go down the road, turn here, do this, do that, and it'll be right there." And that's what I did. So I went to the prison camp. It was a little bit more minimum security, so it wasn't as intimidating, huge. Leavenworth, big ass facility, and you know, I get in and I'm talking to Mike, and I'm just like, man, this conversation is so different. It's like Mike's like, man, like, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't had a chance to tap in with too many people. I've learned a lot sitting here. You know,
Yeah.
he's actively planning steps to as he's getting out, as he's going to try to focus on getting out. And I'm just like, man, Mike has a plan. Um, you know, Mike's humble. You know,
Yeah.
he's kind of had a chance to sit with everything that's going on, sit with his responsibility, sit with how he's going to make amends, and he's done well, man. He's come out and spoken to many groups and done things. Still gets a lot of backlash, but look, he just keeps his head forward and just says,
Yep.
"Look, I'm gonna just do the most positive things that I
That's all you
can.
can do.
You know, I can't change every heart out there, but I'm gonna change them, as many as I can." And you know, he got that call from, you know, Tony Dungy. You know, they got him connected with Andy Reid. They bring him up to Philly, and then next thing you know, he's throwing 5 touchdowns with, you know, against the Commanders. And I'm just like, okay, he's got it. He's on his way, and you know, it's been a fun ride to watch after that.
Man, absolutely, man. And thanks for sharing that because I was there right there with you. It happened. That was my first year in
Yep.
Atlanta. I had one of my teammates in Baltimore called and said, "Hey, man, I think you picked the wrong team," because he knew about the Giants, Bucks, and the Falcons. Falcons offered me the most money, but you know, I came to play with Mike. And then when Mike left, we had a carousel. Again, you were there. Joey Harrington, Byron Leftwich, and Chris Redmond. Love Chris. I mean, love all of them. But it
Got to
just
have a quarterback.
they were not Michael Vick. There's nothing they could do to be Michael Vick, and that was a year to where we lost so many games, Algie. I was there and you were there. And I, first of all, appreciate you giving me, you know, even though I was not a rookie, but it was my first year on the team, you reached out, gave me a little mentorship, told me where to go, where not to go, you know, gave me a little bit of guidance because everybody else was every man for themselves. That season probably was one of my worst seasons in the NFL because I was the highest paid fullback in NFL history. I was the largest free agent acquisition. And I believe to this day, there has never been a team that has had a fullback be their largest free agent acquisition. Some fan was telling me, I don't know if it's true or not, maybe at some other point, but they get a receiver, they get a defensive end, they get another DB, a linebacker. Fullback, you just get that, you know, walk-ons. Like, but to make a fullback your big piece had never been done before. And then their ROI was nothing. Now, again, there are other circumstances, but for me, I wasn't even playing, dude. Like, I mean, we were down by 2-3 touchdowns by the second quarter. So it was 5 wides, and you were out there. We were trying to throw the ball, and the run game was out the window. Bobby Petrino had me sitting there on the sideline. So I got so much hate mail and people just upset that they were calling me a bust, and I didn't do anything. So it was a rough year for me. I'm sure it was a rough year for you. How did you get through that year? And share, just like you did with the Michael Vick thing, which I think listeners probably really enjoyed, the perspective of you being an adult, a grown man, a vet, and having to deal with the Bobby Petrino regime. Because I got some stories for that. I actually interviewed Bobby when he was coaching college at Louisville, and it was hilarious because he was so terrified I was going to just eviscerate him. And I was like, hey, I'm professional. And he was sitting there just nervous as heck. But no, share with them. And I want to know, because you guys are grown. Y'all had conversations with Bobby that I didn't have. Talk about that season.
Oh, you were better than me because when I retired, I started working with ACC Network.
Ooh.
Did a show called Gridiron Live on ACC.
Okay.
And so I used to go to the ACC Media Day, and you know, I was down in Greensboro, and we doing interviews with coaches. And I remember our producer saying, "Hey, do you want to do this interview with Bobby Petrino?" I was like, "Hell no!"
Bobby?
I was like, "Hey,
Bobby Petrino?
we done slapped the dog out of him."
Yes, yes.
I don't want to interview with Bobby Petrino. And then I saw him on the elevator, and I was just like, man, I do not like this dude at all.
And he is so scared. I mean, we're big, imposing figures, but he has to feel like garbage because every person I've talked to, when they see Bobby, like he's just waiting for somebody to throw a punch. The way that he
has feelings at all, you know, I was like, this is terrible. And I remember having a conversation with my mom, my late mom, and she was saying, son, you got to pray. You got to pray about this because
Yeah.
you really have like hating your heart for this person.
You can't be bitter. That pulls you down. I tell my kids that the time you take to hate somebody, that takes away you doing other things. Like you spending that energy, you can spend it for good. So I was like, so as much as I do not like a lot of people, I try to leave the hate and the bitterness for somebody else.
Yeah,
I don't got time for that.
prayed on that situation a lot because I really don't like that dude.
What happened that makes that? What a lot of things happened. What were some of the things that really just grinded your gears about a season, about that guy, about just the way he handled things? And for me, the fact that he told us like we were children to not talk during meetings, during the pregame, I guess eating the breakfast and stuff for games. He was like, quiet, no one talk, quiet, no music in the locker room. I was like, I'm new to Atlanta, but is this
every issue that we had? I would try to go talk to him, and he just wouldn't happen. He didn't want to communicate with. Like if I said, "Hey, coach, look, man, we got to be able to talk in the meeting rooms. Guys got to be able to bond." And he in one ear and out the other. What I said, I retired with the Patriots. I was a captain.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the room with Tom Brady and Vince Wilfork and Gerard Mayo and as captains, and they're communicating with Bill, and I'm sitting there like this. I ain't about to say nothing. I'm like, this Tom done won all these championships. It's Vince Wilfork. I ain't saying nothing. This is their team. And
yeah.
Bill looked at me and was like, "You're in here for a fucking reason. Open your mouth." And I'm like, "Okay,
really."
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So we got dialogue. We're communicating. We're talking through things, and I didn't feel like I had that in Atlanta with Bobby. But for me, I felt like if he yelled at me every day, he would have cared more than ignoring me every day. And that's what it was. It was zero dialogue at all with him as a coach. But maybe look, I've talked about this ad nauseum. He's continuing to coach. He's being successful. So I'm hoping that he's taken this lesson and
learn from it
and has better relationships with his players as he's going forward. He might not have a better relationship with me.
Nope.
Maybe have, but as long as he has, mouths to feed, a family to provide for, I'm hoping that he has taken these lessons and going forward and building long-lasting relationships with his coaches, because Mac Brown is no longer the head coach at the University of North Carolina. But if I pick up the phone right now, call Mac Brown, we'll have an hour-long conversation. So because I've built those type of relationships with the coaches that I have. Clancy Barone, my tight ends coach, who was in New Orleans this past season. If I pick up the phone right now, I could talk to him for an hour because of the relationship that I've had. I can call pretty much any coach that I've ever played for.
Yeah.
And have a conversation with them. Because of the relationship that we have. So, and it should be that way with any coach and any player, win, lose, or draw. And the thing with, I've been on bad teams, but the late Dan Reeves, I won 4 or 5 games one year, the year before Dan was let go. There wasn't a second of him coaching that organization that I didn't think he was giving his all. And pouring into us. We just weren't a very good. We just weren't talented enough to win enough games. I thought when Bobby was here, we had enough talent to win a lot more games. He just didn't have the gall to pour into us and do the things that he needed to do for us to be successful. And that's true. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm done with it. That chapter gone. I don't like talking about it no more. 2025, OB.
Dude,
we got to move on to better things, man.
And we got better things. Like, so a better time for you was going to the Patriots. And I'll be honest with you, I would never, ever, 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 ever choose to go to New England to play in that city, just because it doesn't seem like it's a Patriots. Atlanta, New England, big difference. But the championship pedigree that you have playing with a Tom Brady, a Randy Moss, play at Bill Belichick, like I would have killed to have a Super Bowl ring. Did you get a Super Bowl when you were there?
I didn't get a Super Bowl, but look, I want that culture is different. OB,
I heard
you got to understand. Come on, I'm a season ticket holder at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know how many Cowboys jerseys I see when we're playing the Steelers.
all the time.
You know how many Packers jerseys I see when we playing the Colts. These these fans, they infiltrate our stadium and just rock their team no matter who we're playing.
Yeah, brazenly.
You will not find a Cowboys jersey in New England during that game unless they playing the Cowboys. We don't let other teams. In Atlanta, everybody just come. Hey, come on. We got $2 hot dogs. Come on. Bring your jersey.
That's the draw.
$2 hot dog. Come on.
That's the draw.
We haven't built a culture of winning enough games to put a fence around our stadium and say no more. 7 straight losing seasons is not the standard there.
And in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 7 losing seasons that are happening in this multi-billion-dollar stadium. I was at the college championship game. Were you there? The college football championship game?
On TV. I didn't see it.
Yeah, smart. It was cold. It was cold as heck. But I was out there, and the stadium was amazing. And the Notre Dame fans, Ohio State fans, talk about how amazing the stadium is. That stadium is amazing. You should have amazing things happen in an amazing stadium. And going to one of the last Falcons games against the Carolina Panthers and watching us lose, 44 points scored on us on our defense, and that's why the DC got fired. It's just, you talk about potential.
Oh, it's 2 different things though. The fan experience, best in the league.
Yeah.
The customer service, best in the league.
Yeah.
Venue, best in the league.
Absolutely.
Falcons just need to win games.
We do, and here's the thing: we aren't a bad team, but we played bad, and we've had bad schemes, and bad coaching.
You are who you are, Ov.
What is that? Your boy, the coach, is like, we are who we say or show we are, but we're not a bad team. So again,
something like that.
It's hard. It's something like that, but it's hard to really say, oh, we're trash, because that we play like trash. But to have a chance,
seasons in 10 out of the 12 seasons, they've been winning seasons. So that the organization that I have season tickets for, that I have multiple PSLs for, is not 2 rows, is not performing at a standard that these hard-working fans that are pouring into this organization are just not getting the same results back from a win-loss standpoint.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
No excuse for not making the playoffs this season.
No, not with this squad. Not with Kirk Cousins, Michael. We can go into it for a while. And before I hop into the trending topics, I want to hear what you think about the future, because we're trying to end with a positive note. We have a lot of things that have happened that goes on in NFL and life, but
you already got me getting things off my chest, Ovi.
Hey, man, I want to end
by doing this, Ovi.
Hey. I want to give the fans what they want, which is to understand the positivity, the hope and change that's coming with Atlanta. So with Michael Penix being the guy who's up, the Kirk Cousins experiment didn't work out. I really feel like he was injured, because there's no way you drop off that hard and that fast. He had to be injured. He said himself, he didn't forget how to play football, but his body may have forgotten. So that's that. But moving forward with our pieces and our new DC, I kind of like our DC who from the Jets. The Falcons kind of, negotiated the stats and showed that in the last 3 years, the number 1 defense overall, number 1 passing defense. To have the guy who has those stats in the whole NFL the last 3 years is our DC, and our offense is stacked. The defense came on the last half. We were sacking people 3, 4, 5 sacks a game when that was our Achilles heel.
Yeah,
I think we got something. What do you think?
I'm very encouraged about Michael Penix. I was encouraged when they drafted him. Okay, I was encouraged because he's a very good player.
Yes,
very shocked when they drafted him. I finally saw someone write, I think it was Michael Cunningham in the AJC, write what I've been thinking since day one of drafting Michael Penix, and that is, if we go to Michael Penix, that means we've moved on from Kirk Cousins, which means our salary cap ability to build the team around Michael Penix will be drastically different.
You're right.
We're bottom 5 in the league in cap space as it currently stands. So now we're going to put a quarterback and not give him the same pieces that you can give a Jaden Daniels, whose team is top 5 in cap space right now, going into next season. So now you already put undue pressure on him by having to bring him in late in the season during a playoff run.
Yeah,
and then you're
learn on
going
the
to
job.
build a team around him with less salary cap space. That bothers me to the core. I understood a couple of years ago when we moved on from Matt Ryan that we were going to have dead cap space. So we gave the team the 2 years to get it right.
We did.
And then Arthur Smith's last season, the team drastically underperformed. And then this year, the team drastically underperformed. So I expected better. I expect better next season. But I wish that Michael Penix had a full cap space to work with.
Be
Now,
nice.
Look, Terry did magic in New Orleans. Maybe he could do magic again here in Atlanta and change some things. They way smarter than me. But the results aren't showing like I need them to show. But I would like for us to be able to bring in certain guys and do certain things to build a team around Michael so that he could be successful. But look, great quarterback, great attitude, put the ball in places they need to put the ball in. I'm still going to be there.
Yeah, me too.
Them auto drafts for them season tickets was coming up soon.
Yep.
I'm still going to be there supporting the organization that I love.
Yeah. A couple more things. I'm gonna let you out, man. My former team, Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of theirs, but their quarterback, a lot of people are a big fan of his. Lamar Jackson has been the man for a long time. Lamar Jackson is a 3-time MVP in my eyes. Lamar Jackson also cannot buy a break. I do not know how to feel or what to say to make the Ravens put the pieces around him to help this man win. And I love how he's protecting his tight end, but you're an NFL tight end.
Yeah.
College and high school tight ends can catch that ball for the 2-point converge. High school and college tight ends can catch a ball in the fourth quarter when it's that big of a game and know to tuck it because they're trying to punch it out. I know he made mistakes before, he has to turnovers, but I just hate that I feel like it was stolen from him by his teammates not performing, yet he is going to get 99.9% of the flack as can't get it done in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, the $50+ million guys get flack. I mean, Kirk Cousins gets flack.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks have a responsibility too, man.
I don't like it.
Mark Andrews is, to me, one of the best tight ends in the league and will always continue to be one of the best tight ends in the league. So, yes, he made some mistakes in the playoffs that are going to live with him and haunt him
forever.
For quite some time. You know, I dropped a 2-point convert or play early on in the playoffs when I was in New England, and it still haunts me. It was in first quarter, first drive of the game, and it still haunts me.
But it didn't keep you from winning the game, did it?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
But it still pissed me off.
Yeah,
sure. You know, we all hold on to certain things, but
sure.
Lamar's 28 years old.
Yeah.
Lamar has the same playoff record after 8 playoff games as Peyton Manning had. So
that's good.
So
that's good.
If you want me to negotiate like the Falcons negotiated the stats like you said earlier, I kind of like having Lamar Jackson on my team. He's going to win one.
He is.
I remember having this conversation many years ago when they were saying the same thing about Matt Ryan. And I swore on my heart that he was going to have 2 Super Bowl wins when this all was said and done.
Yeah.
But is he not still the greatest quarterback in Falcons history?
He is.
He is.
He is.
A lot of those losing seasons that I was telling you about, Matt was at the helm, but he's still greatest quarterback in Falcons history, and I'm going to regard him as that. Just like my favorite quarterback of all time is Mike Vick.
Mm-hmm.
This room that I'm sitting in that I built, he helped pay for. So,
yeah.
So I appreciate number 7.
Thank you, Mr. Vick.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's a 7, but Yeah, man. It doesn't matter what you say about that game. Them plays are gonna haunt them until they win one. So,
Yeah,
um, but I would have given anything to have Lamar Jackson in a Falcons uniform a couple of years
ooh,
ago. Um, I, 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 two MVPs later, after those comments from our head man that worried about injuries. So I would love to have Lamar Jackson here in this organization, and I'm sure the fans continue to love. It's going to be some fans upset. Look, you can't please everybody. It's just
you
not.
can't.
It's not. It's just not going to happen. But the man was great this year, and this was the first year I ever played fantasy football, and playing against his team, it tore me up. So um,
It's going to happen
every
every time with Lamar.
times I played against the guy that had Lamar, I got smashed. So so I'll take Lamar Jackson any day of the week. And if this interview ever gets to Mark Andrews, I'm on your side, my brother.
Well, Mark, I wish you the
I ain't
best.
in for life. Whoever bet on the game may not ever be on your side, but
Hey, man,
for me,
I wish you would have caught it.
he
As
is.
a player,
I'm still rocking Mark Andrews.
all right, you rock with him. I'm still upset. All right, last segment, man.
Hey,
Fair or
it's
foul
your
segment.
opinion, dog. Mine too.
Yeah, last segment. Fair or foul is how it works. I'm gonna throw out some hottest takes in sports. You tell me if it's fair. If you agree, it's foul. If you don't agree,
Got
and tell me why. So, number one, Stephen A. Smith claimed the NFL is favoring the Chiefs because of the Taylor Swift Travis Kelsey connection. Is that fair or foul?
fair.
Why?
Tell me the score of the Christmas Day game between Baltimore and Houston.
I don't know.
It's 31-2. Who performed at halftime?
Taylor Swift?
No,
Oh, I don't know.
Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
Highest stream game in NFL history.
Oh, that's right. The Netflix game. Yeah.
How many people watch a game? Keep watching a game that's 31-2.
Very few.
It's still a business, man.
Yeah.
All eyes were on that game for Queen Bee, and if they could get all eyes on the big game for Taylor Swift and whoever else she got in her box, yeah, the league wants it. I don't want it. Go
Yeah.
Bills. Go Bills. I don't want it. but it's business, man.
Business.
Like, you know how many people watch? So many people watch that Baltimore Houston game because they have nothing to do with football.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are going to continue to watch the Chiefs. They ain't got nothing to do with football. So that's why it's fair.
I agree.
Do I like it? Nah, man.
Nah.
Travis
It's not going to change. That's the thing. That's going to be the rule
Travis,
from now to forever.
go do your thing, dog. Catch the ball. Big tight end. My dog. Go do your thing. But the other part,
Exactly.
but it's
All
fair.
right, last one.
It's fair. Yes.
All right, last one. The impact of NIL deals on college sports has caused a shift in recruitment where top athletes are prioritizing financial incentives over traditional team loyalty. Is this fair or foul for the future of college athletics? So you're a big UNC guy, man. Tell me about the NIL because they got to be pitching you to help get the kids in because they need everything. Because NIL now will take a kid who's a great UNC committee and he's gone for more money. Like Algie, please talk to him, keep him here. Like, what's NIL doing?
Well, I guess it's fair, but I mean the model was broken well before NIL came, and this is the reason why. Football and basketball provide for all the other sports, all the non-revenue sports at pretty much every major college institution, right? They bring in all the revenue. My school, University of North Carolina, has 28 sports. Football and basketball provides for the other 26 sports to survive.
Wow.
Those sports need to continue to survive, but we need money from other sources for those sports to continue to survive. Football and basketball should not have to provide for all of those other sports. Now you have schools like Stanford who have 30 plus sports who cut sports in order to try to financially survive, and they had to reinstate those because of Title IX. I'm getting deep in the weeds here. I don't want to go too deep in the weeds, but the model been broken, man. Look, it's every year free agency. As I was kind of rooting for Ohio State to win the game because one, I knew they bought them a championship, and two, I knew it would put our school on notice that if you want to win a championship, you're gonna have to buy
Pony
one.
up.
You're gonna have to buy one. But the elephant in the room is you still gotta provide a funding source for the non-revenue sports, because at my school, there's nothing better than watching a field hockey game because we're the best in the country. There's nothing better
Really?
than watching a soccer game because we're the best in the country. You know, these other sports that we have at our university, we kick ass, man, and they need to continue to thrive, but they shouldn't have to rely on football and basketball to do so.
I love it, man. Well, Algie, I'm gonna let you go. I kept you too long, but thank you so much.